Hey guys, I'm April from Giggle Glitter Graphics, and today I'm making a couple of little notebooks to tuck into my dark forest journal. Now, if you haven't seen the journal yet, this is what it looks like. This piece is not attached yet. I'll put this to the side, give you a quick little peek. If you have seen it, well, we're gonna jump right into making these notebooks here in a second. All right, now you're up to date. So I've got a notebook here that this is made from scraps. I keep a few of these. Let's see, where is my container? I keep a few of these already made. I have them here on my little cart to the side. And so these are just scraps of paper from my table, scraps of cardstock from my table, and they're kind of bundled up, ready to go, ready to be decorated and go into my journals. So I happen to have one that was purple and it had some blue in it and browns. It was just perfect for this. So I grabbed that one. And then this is going to be a second one. This is a piece from my digital kit, the Dark Forest Journal Kit. And that is going to be linked in the description down below if you're interested in that. And this is a page from there. I'm going to show you how to use this page. There's a couple different ways. First, I'm going to start with this guy. So it's just a plain purple cardstock outside. I've got 3 different pages on the inside. There's some graph paper, some coffee dyed paper, and some music writing paper. I'm not going to do much to these papers. I'm just going to sit these to the side and we'll come back to them. So this is the part I'm going to decorate. Now, this is a really magical kind of themed kit. There's a forest, there's magic, there's castles, there's the whole thing. So I've picked out, there's an image from the kit, one of my stamped ephemera pieces from an earlier video. And this is a cutoff from putting the journal together. There's some of this embossed gold paper in there. It's really pretty. So I think I'm gonna start by adding a little bit of zhuzh up this purple cardstock. It's a good shade of purple, but there's lots of like mottled purples and blues in this kit. So I'm gonna grab my Seedless Preserves Distressing and just kind of see, yeah, this is gonna bring a little more saturation to this cardstock, and I'm gonna hit the edges and then maybe get a little bit in the middle, but I am gonna decorate the cover on this quite a bit. So I think I might add a little bit of the blue as well. Maybe we'll use the blue on the inside. I have Salty Ocean Blue Distress Ink also. And I've been using the 2 of those throughout this journal, along with black and a little bit of brown. There's still some coffee dyed things in there, a little bit of vintage stuff in there. But for the most part, I'm kind of sticking with a blue, purple, and black theme, with just a little bit of cream. And I don't like that as much, the blue. So, you know what, we'll put some in anyway. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna line the inside of this with some paper or something that fits our theme. Figured I'd decorate the outside first. Let's add some of the purple too. Pop that back open and do kind of a mix. Yeah, I haven't decided on the inside covers yet. The last one of these I made, I lined the whole inside with vintage washi tape, which was pretty cool, but I'm not gonna do that here because it doesn't really fit my theme. So I think that's good for the purple, which is now all over my fingers. And I'm gonna add just a little blue to the back as well. There we go. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do on the back either. I have a plan for the front, and then that's where all plans end. Well, I kind of have a plan for the front. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and I was thinking kind of this configuration, like that. I'm definitely gonna wanna ink up some of these edges with something. I don't want to use black, so there you go. This is Walnut Stain. Let's grab the blue jobber. I don't know how much more we're gonna use that. And there's some white edges here. I'm gonna cover those up. Walnut Stain is pretty dark, and then I've definitely cross-contaminated into the black. So, you know, I think this is a little too blocky. I want like a rough edge at the top. Let's see if I can get kind of a, yeah, there we go. a little more organic. Everything was kind of blocky, blocky, blocky. And then I'm noticing that this embossed pattern is picking up some of this ink. So I'm wondering if I can kind of go over it a little bit. It's kind of working. Maybe just a touch. It's not anything groundbreaking, but so that's kind of darkened it up a little and covered up those torn white edges. I'm going to do the same ink on this card. It has really dark edges, so I'm going to keep that super black, dark feeling around the edge. This has kind of a tarot card feel. And I'm going to continue that feeling with my tarot card style stamp. I have a whole set of these stamps. I will link those for you to the Amazon listing down below. And you can check those out if you're interested. So got kind of this going on. And now I'm feeling like I want something behind it. So let me grab, I can either do something crazy. These are my Gothic watercolor printable papers. I use mostly printables because I make and sell printables. So one of those behind it might be really pretty. I'm gonna have trouble picking, I can tell. And maybe this big, bold graphic pattern. So let me kind of mark out. Do I have a pencil? I do have a pencil. And I'll grab my paper trimmer and kind of cut myself a piece. Or do I want it to be all rough? We'll cut a piece and then we'll tear it down. How about that? It'll be a little easier to put that to the side, put the pages to the side. Grab the paper trimmer. I'm just gonna cut an appropriate size chunk of this. This is just, this is a thicker copy paper. I like it. It has a brighter white on it. It makes the colors pop a little more. And I like the thickness of it. I like how it feels. You can definitely use thinner copy paper, but I am partial to the luxury paper. I do have decal edge rulers. Let me grab one of these. Let's see here. Something, so this needs to go to about here. And then I want it to be a little less neat. I love the decal edge rulers, but sometimes they're just a little too neat, which is funny because it's like a torn edge, but it's like a linear torn edge, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna give it kind of a little bit of a rougher appearance. And I'm gonna ink the edges. What color am I gonna ink in? Let's see if this fits first. I need to pull off a little more. Not that much. Yeah, that's nice and neat. And let's make sure that this is gonna work. 1, 2, 3. That is upside down. I like that. This definitely is gonna need a little bit of something on it to kind of tie it in. It's very white and stark. So let's start gluing some things down though. I'm gonna use more seedless preserves or nope, black. Let's go straight to the black ink. Love that idea. Let's really make this background pop. Make it super dark and moody. Super dark and moody journal. The theme is kind of like a magical forest, and maybe there is this girl who's lost in the forest and coming across all these fantastical things, but it's a little bit, not necessarily gothic, but a little bit dark and dreamy and dreary, but there's beautiful things in the forest as well, as long as dangerous things. So it's just kind of, I kind of make up these stories in my head when I'm making these kits. It amuses me. This is what I do for fun. All right, let's grab, I had some scrap paper here and it seems to have disappeared. Oh, there it is. There we go. Get a good layer of glue stick on here. I'm using Oohoo glue stick. I like it. It dries fast. It lasts a long time. get this on here correctly. And I have a bone folder. There it is. There. This textured paper might need, I'm gonna use my Fabri-Tac for that because it doesn't have as many points of contact. Well, it's raised on the front. Yeah, that's okay. Let's not overthink it. Just do it. There we go. I liked how that kind of poked up just a little bit above. And I'm going to place that there. I am going to use the Fabri-Tac because again, I've got a textured surface. And the glue stick might not quite grab all of that, and I don't want a loose corner flopping around. Let me get all the way to the edges on this. That is lower than I intended. If I move it up too far though, I'm going to blind a glue, so we're just going to work with that. Okay. And then I like this little tarot card, but now because I put it down a little low. All right, we are going to put the tarot card back. We're going to pivot. So I think we could put some trim on here instead. This is what you do when you kind of make a little bit of an error, so to speak. You can, oh, my cat just came to visit me. I didn't hear him come in. He just, all of a sudden there was a paw on my leg. It surprised me. Hello, Hermes. All right, how about a little piece of this trim along the top? This is a fairly flat lace. I did dye it with food coloring when I was dyeing my paper. I just dropped some in to see if that would work, and it did. It's very light, but it took it from that stark white, and I didn't have to buy any special dyes or anything like that. There, I like the lace. And then this is going to go in a pocket, so I want to keep things fairly flat. I use a lot of these wax seals. Let's see here. Oh, I've got stamps. Hold on. Oh, what about the moon? I like the moon, but I feel like it needs a little something around it. I've got some coffee dyed paper here. I don't want to use my pretty stenciled paper. That's all stenciled. It's all stenciled paper. There's got to be some coffee dyed paper without a stencil on it. Well, let's just go ahead and use it. So this is a sticker. I will just do this and cut around that with my scissors. And around the corners. Ooh, corner rounding punch. This might work. This might look silly. Small, that's large. That's small. Oh, that's cute. All right, we're gonna do that. And some ink. Let's go back to the purple. Back to purple. Oh, hello, sir. He is now talking to me. He wants my attention. I think we're gonna have to give him some love here in a second. There we go, the moon. And I am just going to glue this right on here. And then I'm gonna go play with Mr. Hermes. And then we'll move on to the next step. All right, Mr. Hermes is happy. He's taking a nap. We've had a break and we're back. I did add just a little bit of gold pen here. It was a Sharpie paint pen. I just did some dots just to kind of bring the gold in around the front panel. Hold that up. See it a little better. And I am going to work on the inside now. So I've decided to just put the pages in. I'm worried if I line the inside of this and I've got all this decoration on the outside that this is going to get really thick and bulky and it's just not going to fit into a pocket very nicely. So there's 3 pages here. You really could do as many as you want. 2, 3 seems to be a good number to me. And I'm just going to sew them in. So I'm using some embroidery thread. This is a navy blue. And it's kind of like binding your pages into your journal. If you know how to do that, then this is going to be a breeze. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 lengths. And I'm going to need to get some new craft scissors. Those are not snipping things very easily, or I can try to sharpen them. I have a needle here and a threader. Let me just get that on there. All right, oops. So all I'm gonna do is get this centered up in my book, get all my pages how I want them. I could clip these together if I was really worried about it. I'm not. Get everything nice and tight, and I'm gonna go right about in the middle, and I'm just gonna poke straight through the whole thing and make a hole. Now you can leave the end on the inside. You can continue through this way. I'm actually going to widen this hole out pretty good, and I'm going to go back through this way. I want a bow on the outside. So let's pull that through. All right, so I'm just going to shorten that up. You just need enough so you can tie a bow on the outside. I'm going to bring it up. I did round the corners on this, so it makes the string kind of nestle in. You don't have to round the corners. It'll work fine with square corners. I do like that it provides a slot. So you just bring it all the way up around and then go back through the hole. So it's kind of like a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, but not exactly like a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Now I'm going to make sure that my strings are on opposite sides. Pull everything tight and tie a knot. There we go. Sure, I got a little off camera there. Now you can make this into a bow, you can leave it hang, you can add charms. I think I'm gonna leave that hang instead of making a bow today, and I might add some charms to it depending on where it goes in my journal. So there is my first notebook, all done up and ready to go. All right, I wanna talk about this second notebook that I'm gonna do. Now this is a page from my journal. It is journaling pages and or journaling cards. If you look at it, it's kind of one way on top and another way on the bottom, though this design could technically go either way. I think it would look okay if it was upside down. So you can cut these apart and turn them into journaling cards, put them on cardstock. I'm actually going to fold mine like this. And that's the reason that the one is upside down and the other one is right side up. So you can fold this right like that. You grab my bone folder. And then you can fold it again and make a little bug. So it's just kind of a way to include an easy notebook making accessory into the kit, but also you can cut these apart and use them as individual cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can print them twice and use them both ways. I may do that. I might go back and print them again. So I'm actually going to glue this so that it becomes one full thing. I think I folded it fairly neatly, but if there's some kind of strange, if it's not even on the edges, I'll just trim it up a little bit. And then, I mean, you can just tie a string around the spine on this and have a quick little notebook. It doesn't really need a special cover or anything like that. I did do this just a little crooked. You can see where I'm off. I'm going to ink that though, and you're not going to notice. I think I just got the center isn't centered. It could have been centered up a little better. All right, I think I'm going to fold the other way. I had folded it with that kind of flower wand on the inside or outside, and I'd like it to be on the inside. And then there's trees on this page, and candles on this one, and let's do blue ink. Dauber. And I'm going to get this inked up, and then I'm going to pick something out for the cover. I have put no thought into this. I do not know what I'm using for the cover, so I will probably grab some of the Gothic watercolor paper. And then because I took a break and hung out with Mr. Hermes for a bit, I printed some vellum earlier today, and it is dry, so I might incorporate some of that in here. I wasn't going to use it because I was worried it would smudge, and now it's had quite some time to sit here and dry, so I might be good to go. All right, so there's that. We need a cover. I did do, let's see. This is cardstock, and that's very pretty. I may not do the vellum because this is printed on both sides. I forgot I printed on both sides. I do like this kind of Gothic archway look, and I think I'd like that to be on the outside. So I'm going to kind of set where I'm going to trim this down. I'm going to make it a little bigger and grab my paper trimmer. Get some of these white edges off. And then I will figure out how wide this needs to be by just opening this up. And I want it to be just a little bit bigger than my pages. So I'll just kind of do that. And then we have some nice leftover pieces to use for other projects. So if I want this to be the outside, just fold that in half. Fold that back in half, and then that pops right in there. And I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other ones. I am going to round the corners. I can't remember what setting I used, and I do know it was a little hard to get through the cardstock. Let's use the medium setting. Oh, this one works okay. The other cardstock was a lot thicker. I'll just do all of the corners. Oh, there we go. So you have a choice. I did the embroidery thread binding last time, and I think I'm going to do that again. But you could also get, if you have a stapler that is deep enough, and I'm not sure that this one is quite deep enough. Oh, it just maybe barely makes it. You could just staple this. You could just staple the spine and call it a day. That is definitely an option. But I like the string. I think it's really pretty. So we're going to do that a second time. I'm going to go ahead and use the dark string again. So 1, 2, 3, let's go 4 and make a bow this time. Make sure we have some extra legs to work with. And now I'm just realizing I've gotten ahead of myself, and if I want to decorate the front of this, I better do that before I put it together. I'll tell you what, it's been a day, guys. A lot happened from going to play with the cat and now. So even one of those days, it's not a bad day, but everything is just a little off kilter. All right, I did pull out one of my stamped ephemera pieces. I didn't use one on the other notebook, so maybe I'll use one of these. And I have one of these stampy stamps. We'll call it a stampy stamp. A sticker, and I've got some of these kind of ticket looking washi tape pieces. I'm just randomly pulling stuff from around me. I pulled out a bunch of stuff that I thought might be fun to play with. No, I don't like that. That's the same size as the others. Is there something from the kit? These are all fairly large. There are some smaller pieces. Oh, that could be pretty. See, I've got this printed paper behind, so I'm just not sure. And those are large as well. And I like the contrast of this and the golds and the, okay, that stays. This, do we make it a pocket? Do we have some kind of little pocket here? And then the tag goes in. Oh, I think that's happening. I think we've done a pocket. Get some purple ink around there. See, you just never know what's gonna happen. You're playing with all the pieces and next thing you know, you got a surprise pocket. So let's see how I'm gonna work this so that it all works. Let's go ahead and glue this down. I need to go pretty close to the edges. I'll use my Fabri-Tac and try to make like a really thin line because this is just perfect to hold that tag. So get that on there. So this is gonna slide right in there like that. That is perfect. I like how I can, yeah, I don't know. I'm super excited. That was unexpected. I can still do some layering here. I just need to kind of respect that pocket space. I don't want to match this stamp like I did the last one. So let me do the black ink around the edge and see if that will make it pop out a little more. Give it some, it's gonna make it look grittier and a little less like feminine and pretty and a little more like, it's a goth stamp. There we go. See if I can get the backing peeled off. That's always the trick with stickers, huh? There we go. Stamp there, and maybe I will get into the wax seals. Checking my washi tape. Those are all so playful. I don't really want to do graphics because there's a lot going on. No, going right back to the wax seals, or the fake wax seals. They're like a plastic material. Let's see if one of these, oops, very crunchy. See, like this one just has sparkles in it. I think that one might be fun, and it's kind of a pinkish purple. They are quite rigid, and it's just gonna bring a little bling in, not add a lot of thickness, because I am gonna punch a hole in that tag and add a string to it. Let me pull this out. There's still glue drying in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my page in, just like I did the other one. I think this time I'm gonna, let's see, I already cut my string, I remember now. That kind of a day. There we go. And again, split this up. One on each side. Oh, it looks like I split my embroidery thread. I'm going to I have plenty, so I'm going to just pull some. Oh, I threaded it right through. See, don't do that when you thread, when you put your needle back through the second time. Don't split your thread. It's easy to go right through the thread that's in the hole already, and it's a little bit, and that goes for when you're binding your signatures in as well. It can kind of make it difficult to tie your knots and things. So that was one more time, April. Make that second. And then a little bow. It's okay if it's a little scraggly. Our forest is a little scraggly. It's pretty but scraggly. Try again. All right. Thread is not 100% cooperating, but you get the idea. My scissors aren't cooperating. Oh, for Pete's sake. Those scissors. Okay. I've dropped my pinking shears on the floor. Sewing scissors. There we go. Cute bow. And now I'm just going to finish off that tag. I'm putting the wrong lids on the wrong glues. All right, I didn't know I was doing a tag, so I will grab a grommet and some ribbon, and I'll be right back. All right, so I went with a purple eyelet and a little bit of blingy gold ribbon, and there we go. Let's hold that up. There is my little notebook. And gosh, am I super excited about that. That's so cute. Look at it. That's going to be so pretty. I'm amassing quite the pile of things to kind of finish up and put into my journal. I did a whole bunch of different things. I played with window envelopes the other day. I've got some tags that I already pre-made with my stamped embellishments. So I'm really getting quite the little pile of stuff that's ready to go in. I'd like to do a little more finishing work on these, maybe add some fabrics. It depends on where they go in. And I'm sure, you know, everything in this pile is subject to change, but oh, these are adorable. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you got a little bit of inspiration from my project today. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so that you can see the next one. I'm going to be continuing work on my dark forest journal, and I'm really excited to keep sharing it with you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.